Where do you need help going forward from industry, academia, startups, open source community?
I think that we collaborate with all, stakeholders in this cloud computing ecosystem, because if we collaborate in the context of different working groups in standardization bodies. We provide feedback, or we provide reference implementation of early specifications. We also contribute with or collaborate with many research groups in academia, because for us it's an important source of innovation. So they build, for example, many components around OpenNebula to complement the functionality that we provide. And industry for us is very important. I mean, we created the technology in order to address the requirements of business and use cases. So it's very important, because we don't want to, to develop a technology for research, but a technology can be used in production environments and can address real needs from industry. So our collaboration with industry is very, very important. We closely collaborate with many major players in cloud computing.
So you mentioned components. When you look at the current stack or current components in cloud computing, is there any single or multiple components that are missing today beside OpenNebula?
Well, even from the cloud computing management perspective from OpenNebula, I think that there are many research and technology challenges still to be addressed. I mean, we have the technology, and there are many cloud computing services around, but there are many challenges. I mean, we like OpenNebula because it's not only a way to transfer results, it's also a support to do research. And this is a very interesting model, because it contributes to the innovation of OpenNebula. Other components around, we think that there are research area in cloud enablement, those the components that you need to build on the cloud. There is also a research area in cloud aggregation. I think that this is very important for the future working between different clouds. And I think that the main barrier to adoption is cloud interoperability. This is very important, and we think that this is the main area that should be addressed now.
So you are hinting at the need for standards?
Yeah, sure.
Standards are tricky business, and you probably know that very well, being in OGI. Sometimes they come too early and then they never mature. Other times they're too late and they're already de facto standards. When do you think is the right time for clouds to bring the standards on?
I think it's difficult to know. I mean, our experience is that we have worked in the context of several early specifications. That is good, but of course, if you don't have adoption by the industry of those specifications, they are not going to be a standard. So it's difficult to know which, the right time to define the standard. But we see that in cloud computing, there are different interoperability points that are very important. For example, one of them is the public cloud API, okay, very important. The second one could be the way to connect to the underlying infrastructure in the private cloud. Okay? And the third one is the API that could be used for cloud bursting or cloud federation. So those three are the main, in our view, interoperability points, and we need standards then.
Okay.
Yeah, but well, I think that the problem here is that cloud is in very early stages of adoption. So we are really finding out how users or people want to use the cloud. I mean, how are they going to interact with the systems? We have pretty good examples with EC2 or with other APIs, but you are now receiving more feature requests and more. Okay, that's good, but I want to do these other things. So right now, if you are going to develop a standard, that's something we are seeing the standardization groups we follow, is that they are sometimes they are behind the needs of the users, because this is too early in the adoption of the cloud.
It's clear that there's a gap between the discussions in the working groups and the demands of the users. In our case, because we implement APIs and provide APIs to our users, then we discuss this in the context of the different working groups, and they, for example, discuss a new functionality. But we cannot provide that functionality during this API because our users want, to keep that compatibility with the API. So, I mean, we see that there is that gap, this very important gap between both.
Since you brought up the users, you are providing services to users, and then when you look at the hardware providers, you are their users. Is there anything that you would expect better from hardware vendors that can simplify your life, and also looking up to the users. If users would develop services applications in a different way, would it help you in terms of scalability, reliability, and other aspects?
I think that in terms of hardware, I mean, we are mainly users for the hypervisors. I mean, the main component that we interact with is the hypervisor, and I think that the main gap here is the interoperability between them. For example, image format. You have a virtual machine running in VMware and moving that to Xen or KVM, and that's is difficult. However, there are efforts out there, like for example, Litbird, that provides you with an abstract layer to interact with multiple hypervisors at the same time, and I think that the efforts in that direction would be helpful for us. And thinking about people deploying service on top of OpenNebula or any other cloud management tool, I think that so far we've been designing our services considering that the physical machine will be always there, right? But with cloud computing, you have the ability to have an elastic infrastructure. You can add services and remove servers anytime. So I would say to people, like, take that into account. Build your service in a way that can add more resources, and resources can be taken out of the service you are deploying.
So these are some aspects that you can get help from industry. Now, you are coming from academia yourself, but you can't solve all the world problems, even if you're successful in OpenNebula. What are the areas where you can expect help from others, for example, in security, fault tolerance, other areas? What kind of other research would you expect from academia?
Well, I think that cloud computing is a computing model. And if you want to do research in cloud computing, there is an important overlap with other research areas. And you want to address research challenges that have been already addressed at a given degree in other research fields. And this is important. For example, we collaborate with research group in the field of grid computing. For example, this is very important for the federation of different cloud sites. Also, autonomic computing, virtualization. So we think that that is very important, because for us, cloud is a research area with important overlap with other areas. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel, perform research in areas that have been already addressed.
Okay. So I've been asking you many questions. Do you have any answers for which I didn't ask a question?
Yeah. Well, maybe, I mean, the important message for us that we would like to communicate is that OpenNebula is the results of many years of research and development in cloud computing management, and the collaboration with many important players in cloud computing. So the important thing for us is to show that OpenNebula is an innovative technology and also technology that allows any data center to build the cloud using their PCC services. So those are, I mean, for us, the two important message that we like to communicate.
Yeah, and I will just, well, in Asia, OpenNebula is the result of the effort of many people, and we really appreciate the effort. For example, of the engineers we have working with us, like Tino, Javier, Carlos, Jaime, and Daniel. Without them and with their help, we couldn't make this. And also we really appreciate the community we have. I mean, people working with us, that's been very, very awesome. I mean, that's really encouraging for us, and really a good personal experience. So just thank you to everybody using OpenNebula and that make this possible and a reality.
Okay, thank you for your time
Thank you.
and describing OpenNebula. It was a pleasure listening to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.